All right, welcome to another round of Let's Buy a Business. I'm your host, Ryan Condi, where we dive into all things acquisitions. Today on our YouTube channel, we've got Steve Keller, who is an incredible business owner. He actually went from a cameraman in sports, like working for ESPN, working big events, all the way through being his own cameraman, building his own business that way, to then buying 2 additional businesses, all within about 15 months, 16 months. The first one he bought for was about $120,000 in the crime scene cleanup space. What is that? I didn't even know that was a thing. Then he parlayed that into an acquisition 10 times bigger for $1.3 million, also in the crime scene investigation space. So crime scene cleanup space. Just blows my mind. This is an awesome conversation. We actually dive into a bunch of different things, how he funded and structured his first deal, how he funded and structured his second deal, and how he even found that and won a very competitive bid. And then, of course, some of the tax strategies he's using, since his businesses kick off a lot of cash. He doesn't want to pay as much taxes, and we do some great tax deep diving that he can help you with. So feel free to click on the newsletter we've got here at the bottom. That newsletter will allow you to see new deals, see what's happening in the acquisition world, and get custom access or specific access to deals that aren't necessarily on the market. And the other piece is you can reach out to Steve there at the bottom, as we got a link there in the show notes. Thanks. How do you run this business remotely? Was it run remotely before? Now you're in Texas, it's in Florida. Do you run it remotely? How often do you have to go out there? What does that look like?
Yeah, it was not run remotely before, but there towards the end, and I think the seller did this on purpose, was she started to remove herself more and more from the business towards the end. And so she had by the time I bought it, there was a business operations manager in place, and that person did a lot. And so one of my key questions during due diligence and during the whole process was, hey, can that business operations manager, can that person, do they have the qualities or the experience or the skill level to be a general manager, to like really run the show? And they gave me really positive feedback on that, and they thought they could, and they thought that there was, some certain areas that she's going to need some more experience in that the owner still did, specifically on the sales and marketing side. And so I felt pretty comfortable with that. As soon as I met her, I was like, oh my gosh, home run. I got really lucky.
At what point did you meet her? Was it when you were under offer? Or?
No, I did not meet. I met her and the entire staff about 2 minutes after the owners told them all that the company was sold. And then they brought me into the room.
Agreement signed, money's wired, escrow, all that fun stuff. Okay.
Yeah, everything's done. I go down to Florida, and it's like we had planned it out. Hey, I wanted them to tell them first. It was their employees. They wanted to be the ones to break the news. And it was like some new guy to come in and be like, hey, I'm the new owner. Yeah. Here I am. So they had their time to do that, answer questions, alleviate some concerns. And then I stepped in. So then I met her, and, it took a little while, right? Everybody was like, whoa, this is a big change, shocked. Nobody saw it coming, all those things. And so, but it didn't take me long to realize, like, oh yeah, this person is the general manager, hands down. I know I'm gonna have to pay her more. She's gonna take on more responsibility, but she wanted to do it. That was the other key question I asked. I said, do you think she would want to do this? Right? It's one thing for that person to do it, but if they don't want to do it, doesn't matter. You're gonna have to find somebody else. So, and she did, and she does. And so we have built a really great relationship in the short, just a couple of months that I've owned it. And that's how I manage it remote, because she runs the day-to-day, and I am able to work on the business from Texas, where I don't have to be there. I don't have to see the employees every day. I don't have to approve PTO. I don't have to run payroll. I don't have to do any of that stuff. I just talk to her a lot, right? We talk all the time. Yeah.
Are you using like a Slack? Are you texting? Is it phone calls?
We're texting, we're texting, and like our meetings are done via Zoom. So, and we're kind of reshuffling our meeting structure a little bit, but we were kind of just doing the meetings that they had done before, but I would just attend those via Zoom. And I knew the previous owner didn't attend every single meeting either, right? Like, so if she was ever out of town during a meeting, she would Zoom in. So I was like, okay, well, we know it's possible. And, what's like me being there in person for that meeting, no different than me being there via Zoom. Obviously, you're mostly worried about like team morale and do they trust and know who I am, those things. So I did spend, as soon as it closed, I went down there for a week. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, I went down there for another week. So in the first month, I was down there for like half the month. And now I haven't really figured it out fully yet, but I would say maybe once a quarter. This year I'm going to have to go more because we're moving. We're going to have to eventually move the space that it's in. And so those types of things will have to get figured out. But yeah, I really got lucky. I have an operator in place who runs the show and allows me to do the things that I'm best at as far as the business goes.
That's pretty awesome. With your operator, it sounds like one who was already established to begin with, which is just critical to the business. All right. First off, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. 3 years ago, I started a podcast and YouTube channel on a whim. Recorded over 280 episodes, and I had no idea this weird niche would take off like it has. Been able to meet tons of awesome people like yourselves, but also I get a lot of the same questions over and over again. So my background is I bought 7 businesses, built 5, and sold 4. I brokered over 24 businesses in the last few years and been a part of another 15 other transactions. But the questions I get are all the same, right? So how do I value a business? Is this a good business for me? How do I buy this business? How do I structure a deal? Well, I'm launching right now how to buy your first small business through acquisition entrepreneurship. Okay. It's a course. It's everything I know about buying businesses. Buying a company is closer in reach than you think. And this is how I've done it, right? So this course will save you dozens of hours, which if you value your time like I do is quite critical. You can find more at letsbuybusiness.com/course, or just click the link there in the show notes or here in the video and it'll take you right there.